I'm going to begin channeling now. Verbal messages, energy transmission, and some different messages from the Pleiadian Council. It'll lead later into a question and answer session. You can stay where you're at for now and move as you feel called. Enjoy. Hello. We are here and we are very pleased to connect with you in this way. We speak on behalf of the Pleiadian Council and together on behalf of the Intergalactic Alliance of many different extraterrestrial, from your perspective, star beings that are, some similar to you and some very different, who are aligned with the purpose of light and peace and love in this galaxy. We are all very pleased to meet you collectively and individually for the purpose of our expansion together. Every time that you allow the bridge to open between our respective realities, we meet in a third reality, in the new reality of the Earth that is part of this intergalactic alliance, and at the vibratory frequency to meet us, to interact with us. We use words to meet you, though carried in these words are encoded energies that help your consciousness access this higher vibratory level. Now, again, we say we speak on behalf of many, for you have all brought your own guides here, and you have all brought many other beings here who are supporting you, who are actively working with you for your growth. There is much to uncover as your world begins to ascend more. Now, your planet has already committed to this in a way. Your planet has its own agenda, and your Earth has said yes to this process of ascension, and you as souls are creating this as your personal reality by following the flow of your being that has brought you here today. Other souls are choosing to splinter off into a different timeline in which Earth does not ascend, and there is still this remnant of that sort of an energy on your Earth, though things are changing very quickly. This great shift occurring on your planet is one of an increase in manifestation. The process is such that you attract everything that you are a vibrational match to, that which is your believed, at many levels, expectation of reality becomes your present moment reality. And as the energy frequency increases, things come to you more quickly. You learn at a quicker rate. You attract at a quicker rate. You experience that things may seem as if they're speeding up, because they are. And this also works for the other polarity as well, for the negative so-called polarity. The instance of burnout, of trauma, of conflict, of war, of toxicity increases for those who are engaged in that polarity. So we ask you to now band together as the light, for the light is already stronger on your Earth than this darkness. And the darkness in you comes to be purified as you unite in the name of that light. As you unite as you are today in the name of that light, in the request for that, more of that light, the willingness to show up in that light, you transform your Earth. And as you picture the ascended Earth you would prefer, the sort of utopia that you dream of, and disconnect from the things that you fear about your world, Yes, saying that you are here to change the world, but knowing that your yes to that utopic vision is the most powerful thing you can do. That ability to feel as if what you desire is already with you will bring things to a much quicker manifestation in these times. We know that there is many challenge for those of you who are becoming more sensitive. You are capable of feeling the pain of others and the pain of the negative polarity of your planet very powerfully. And we ask you to use the sensitivity as your great gift, to know that your feeling is showing you what is out of alignment. And as you see that misalignment, that misplaced focus, you bring yourself to redirect your focus to that which you would prefer. We want to tell you about today we will say 3 most important things. The 3 most important things for you. And if you can master these 3 things alone, you will be in a very different reality. Now, the first of these things is focus. Focus is very important. Focus is more important than anything else. And it is not how strong you focus, no. No, it is not this. You do not need to try to focus. You simply need to choose where you focus. The feeling that you are experiencing is a result of where you are focusing. And so when you are feeling something negative, it is only meaning that you are focusing on what disconnects rather than what makes whole. When you are feeling something positive, it means that you are seeing the big picture, that you are getting in touch with a higher level of reality and therefore connecting many things, many aspects, many layers, many dimensions, many people, many souls into a unified state. When you are feeling positive, it is a sign that you are focused on connectivity, on wholeness. When you use the emotion you are feeling to bring you to redirect your focus to something that brings you to feel more connected with the world around you and the people around you, things will change very quickly. Now, whatever you focus upon, you get more of. And again, as we have said, things are speeding up. You're getting what you're focused on much more quickly. You will have clear and instant manifestations of where you focus day in, day out. You are always getting a reflection from the universe of what you focused on. If it is losing a job, or if it is breaking a toe, or if it is getting a winning lottery ticket, or if it is finding a new relationship, or if it is going on a boat and meeting a particular person, or getting a free airplane ticket, or whatever you may experience. Those things are all manifestations of where you have focused and how you have focused. So let every little blessing and curse be an indication of where you focused, and don't punish yourself for it. Simply be, I have focused somewhere. I have placed my focus somewhere. Now, the most important focus is the focus on your heart, as you have done earlier, because your heart is receiving this impulse of your own higher self. And your higher self is this enlightened being. It is really one emanation of all that is. It is God. And your heart is what receives that God energy. And when you act upon what your heart is asking you to do, you let the divine, you let that universe or that God move through you. And the more you do this, the more you will come to experience yourself as already one, already completely enlightened, because you are that one God. So this describes the first thing. The first very important thing is focus. And the next is action. Yes, action. That you must take action in some way in your life. You must actively engage with the world. And the actions that you take are very, very important. And so first you focus and then you act. How do you determine which action to take? You do the action that brings you to feel most focused in a feeling of love. And you disregard entirely, especially other people in this regard. They are already one with you, so don't let their opinion sway you. Simply let the feeling of love inside of you, and of course, how much people love you back is something that does affect inside of you, but remember that you must be love in yourself in order for them to reflect that love to you. So again, disregard the world around you for a moment, disregard what those around you are telling you you must do and how you must do it, and ask yourself very carefully, very patiently, what does my heart want to do the very most in this moment? And then act on it. And it may not be related to some big picture thing, or it may be a stepping stone on a huge journey, on a huge ascent to the great goal of your life. It doesn't matter so much as long as it makes your heart beat quicker, as long as it makes your heart feel very open, very excited. So these are two things, focus and action. And the last thing is imagination. Yes, it's imagination. And this is actually another level of your being entirely. Imagination is what you may describe as your fourth and fifth dimensional layers of self. So this part of you that conjures an image, that makes meaning out of the things around you, that gets a creative idea, this part of you is very miraculously important. And realize that you cannot get anything you haven't imagined receiving. You have to imagine the things that you are about to do before you do them. And so the focus of your imagination is very key. You must really erase the idea that only certain things in this lifetime are possible. Even the idea that you cannot, for example, fly, or heal somebody by looking at them, or get rid of a disease with sound, for example. You must believe that those things are possible. You must have the ability to at least imagine that as a reality. You must imagine that you are able to leave your body at will. You must imagine that you are able to attract to you things, that you can bring things into your life without as much effort. You must imagine that you can experience love, that you can experience deep connection with another person. You must imagine what that feels like. And yes, as you use your imagination more to orient yourself in the direction of what you would desire most to create. If you can imagine, for example, the things that would bring you to feel the most focused in a feeling of great love and great connection and great empathy, you can then take the actions that lead you there. So again, it is these three things alone: focus, action, imagination. These very key components will allow you to create an example of Source's love through your very life experience. Now, imagination has far greater powers as well. Your imagination can, in fact, take you beyond the limits of your physical reality into these other dimensions, these higher dimensions that you inhabit as well. Parts of you do. You must redefine your imagination as you have learned that it is something that is a tool for children to play for a while. And it is very playful, yes, because reality is a dance, it is a game, it is a wonderful conjuring of magical components that bring and elicit the experience of bliss when played properly. It is a game, this life. And you play in reality through your imagination by allowing your dreams and allowing your intuitively received messages and images to be of great significance. You can use your imagination to go beyond what is known into the unknown, and trust that everything that appears in this other level of reality is a very encoded message. Because again, you're creating everything that you experience from these levels of subconscious and unconscious. It is already programmed, it is already dialed in like a computer has a coding, your soul has a coding, and you as an active participant in your life recode the programming of your soul by using your imagination, by orienting your focus, and by acting upon, once you've imagined something new, the most exciting way to get into that new reality. And this will take you very far. Though you must, again, use these tools to do what brings you to feel love. You cannot do anything wrong as long as you are feeling love. This universe is ultimately so forgiving and so accepting that as soon as the soul leaves their physical reality, they are immersed in love and bliss, every soul. There is nothing wrong that you could ever do. If you ever feel a sense of guilt, that is only pointing you in the direction of your innocence. So trust that as long as you focus yourself in the orientation towards something very loving, very exciting for you, and act upon it with great enthusiasm, while still looking very carefully, imagining very carefully the details of all of the things that could happen, with no fear, of course, just awareness, just a bit of caution, you will most certainly get in the direction of where you would prefer to go, very quickly, very easily. Now, we say this to you because we want you to become masterful creators. Yes, you are the best example of what is called a light worker, when you have worked the light in your own body and in your own life to be abundant and overflowing of the things that you value the very most. And the things that you value the very most will attract to you the sorts of people that you can call your soul tribe. And when you have a great effortless overflowing of that loving energy and the things that are necessary to be very comfortable, very enjoying your physical reality, you will have the power to create a utopia on your planet. And as you do this, we will come to meet you ever more closely all the time. Though first you must take more control. You have given too much of your control over to higher forces. Even your spiritual teachings teach you that you are not in control, but you are. You are in control. And there's a higher part of you, your greater soul, your higher mind that works out the details that you can't figure out. And that higher mind is in control too. What you're not in control of is the universe, this big cosmic force out there. Yet your higher mind that is in control of that will work out the details. It will show you the exact reflection of what you are and what you are needing to learn from. You are in control of your focus, and it is time to take that control back, while letting go of the control of other people, of situations bigger than you, of circumstances in your environment that are negligent and toxic. You are not in control, but you can picture the opposite of those things. You can picture harmony and place more of your focus in your imagination. And here's another tool. Here's another tool that helps those three tools work the very best. And that is, when you don't like what you're presently experiencing, move your focus from physical reality into your imagination to a non-physical reality, to an imaginal reality. Bring your focus there. And it is not a sort of escapism, no. It is the choice to feel good. It is the choice to bring yourself to feel good as much as you can. And when you are shifting your focus to what you would prefer as opposed to what is, you align yourself with the most natural level of non-resistance, of allowance, that brings to you those sorts of things. Thank you for receiving this transmission. And now we would like to guide you in a bit of a practice and a bit of a tool to meet a being that we would describe to you as your future self. Now you have many future selves. There's an infinite amount of possible futures. There's not one future. It is not, in that sense, fixed, though it is predestined, because, again, the universe has already experienced everything. There is no time, there is no space. All of it is here and now. So every possible future is predetermined, but you choose which of those many different timelines you experience by your focus. And so we will use our focus and we will use our imagination, and then later you will act to allow that future self of yours to bring you in a very positive direction, yes. So allow yourself first to sink more into your body, breathing in and imagining that light of your soul, pouring into you and lighting you up. And picture, yes, a great sort of elevator that manifests next to you. And as the elevator lands and simply finds its space in the room, perhaps in the center of the room where there's all those crystals and such, is a natural place for you to picture it. Out of the elevator steps your future self. Perhaps this future self has arrived from 3 years in the future, perhaps from 5 years in the future, perhaps 2 months in the future, perhaps from tomorrow. It's all right. And they step out of the elevator and they greet you with great love. They greet you with great enthusiasm. And they greet you with a state of total integration because they come from a very enlightened future in which you have learned to master your focus. And this future self of yours knows exactly the things that you need, the things that you really truly need. And some of you have come to define need in a funny way. We would say that your greater needs beyond the ones that you know and accept. You have the need to express yourself. You have the need to feel connected to others. You have the need to express that creative energy in meaningful ways. And your future self knows the way that you need to do that. Your future self has already done that. So imagine yourself as you are, stepping up and out of your body and grabbing the hand of your future self or giving them a great hug. Feeling that affirmation that they have for you that it's all going to be all right. And that you're okay and that you may trust that things are working out for you now. And step with them into that elevator. And allow them to take you to show you the world that they inhabit. And as you step out of the elevator, they're going to show you all of the most wonderful things that you've desired. All of the most wonderful ways that you can give back to creation. Be of service for the ascension. Notice the people that they show you. Notice the great settings around you, the very scenic, very sensuous sorts of experiences they show you. Notice how healthy they are and how they feel being that healthy, that well, that in balance physically. Notice how much love they feel for the people around them and how loved they are by those people. Notice the great passion they have for their creativity being manifest. And let them show you how their creativity is manifest. feel that great passion, that great excitement for having experienced those things. Perhaps at your side there comes other visitors, other spirit guides of yours. They may be great gods and goddesses. They may be angels. They may be us or another extra-terrestrial or alien, as you call them, race, with big eyes, smiling happily at you. Maybe your own inner child or an elf. Let them accompany you too, to show you the magic in this world. And now, take a moment to go back to the elevator after your future self has showed you all this magic, all this wonder. And now another future self is going to step out of the elevator. And this is a future self from your negative future. From the future in which you focus on your paranoias. This future self is a manifestation of your shadow. We want you to meet them. We want you to greet them. And as you meet them, notice the great sorrow that they bring. Allow yourself to feel with them. Have compassion for them, for that emotion. And with your loving, enlightened future self, we want you to go and meet the world of your shadow future self. Go in the elevator with them and let them show them their world. Let them show you the troubles that they have created. May appear as your greatest fears manifest. Your greatest fears explored. May feel like isolation, dystopia. And let your negative future self in this way tell you what they focused on. Tell you why they created it in this way. And as they do, they'll touch a point in you. They'll trigger a wound in you that needs your attention so that you don't go to the reality in which they inhabit. You are meeting them now so that that world will not become your own. So have great compassion for them as part of your soul. Thank them for showing you. Thank them for bringing you to meet this wound in yourself. And now, as the three of you embrace and you are able to share this compassion with your shadow self of the future and your enlightened self of the future, you can trust that you have learned and seen what it is you are ready to clear and what it is you are ready to focus on. Go back to the elevator and go back to the enlightened future self's world. Step out of the elevator and find yourself there. Notice those scents, notice those sights around you, and those great fragrances of love. Now here, your enlightened future self will take you to a very special place to them where there's a gift waiting for you. The gift may be a symbol, may be an object, may be a crystal sphere of light. Open your arms to receive it and feel what it's like to hold it in you. Hold it in your reach. It is a tool, it is a metaphorical item that will help you focus in the direction of their blissful, reality. It is a symbol, it is a memory that you can always return to align yourself with this future. And when you return back to your physical reality, you may want to jot it down or take some record of it, make some manifestation of it. But for now, open your arms and place this symbol, place this gift in your heart. And as you receive it, take it in, you now align your energy with that wonderful, enlightened future version of yourself. The being you are becoming is one with you in this way. And as they embrace you and as you receive this energy, thank yourself for going on this journey. And allow the three of you to return to that elevator. Take it back to the floor in this reality, in this dimension, and step out together. And let them rest with you in this space, knowing now the futures that await you, that you have seen two of many, two of infinite futures. And that as you become friends with these future versions of yourself, they can teach you, they can show you the ways that you can create those more preferable realities. Now know that as well as these other future versions of yourself, in the room with you now are other versions of yourself from different present realities. For example, 5 years ago, there was a fork in your road, a fork in your life path, and you made a decision to orient yourself in the direction of where you are today. The person who made a decision to go in the other direction exists just as well, just as clearly. They've had different experiences, for better and for worse. And they have learned different tools, different wisdoms that they can teach you. So as you come to accept that this part of your soul also exists, they can awaken with the new talents that you never took the time to develop. That's right. You can integrate talents, integrate gifts, integrate healing ability from the lives that you are having when you made different decisions many years ago. There's infinite versions of these personas, these aspects of your soul too. They're always with you, and they can teach you very much. So have great thanks that you never ever missed out on anything you didn't do. Another version of your soul did it, and that version of your soul can integrate within you. Take a great gasp at how powerful, how big, how vast, how beyond the taught framework of reality your soul is. Many of these different versions of yourself will come to meet you, come to integrate within you. So be open and remember these tools, your focus, your action, and your imagination. And as you use them, things in your life will be very different. Now, in return for receiving the transmission we have shared, which has been a great honor for us, we would be very pleased to reflect to you your own deepest connection to your source through the reflective dialogue of your questions, your musings, your sharings, your ideas, your dreams, your curiosities. Please do share with us one at a time, giving everyone the space, everyone the full breadth of their desire to communicate. And speak up and be very courageous in your sharing. Let your truth come forward now. You may begin whenever you wish. Or not. Yes.
Can you tell about the Vega?
Vega.
Yes.
Vega. Vega were the first to say, we want something a bit different. So, going back to your great cosmology, the first life forms to develop in this universe and in a very intelligent way came from the star system you know to be Lyra. And Lyra is really the home of all life, and therefore it is the home of your life as well. And the Lyra energy became very focused on a endless sort of expansion, expanding the reach of their empire, expanding the reach of their first civilization to many reaches of the galaxy. And at one point, some of these Lyran beings began to feel a bit claustrophobic in a way. Began to feel as well a bit desiring of something more harmonious, something more peaceful, something more subtle, something more feminine, basically, to counterbalance the strong force, the strong will of the Lyran predominant quality. So the Vegans emerged by some of these beings from Lyra moving to Vega and making a new civilization. Now the new Vegans were very pleased to focus on their spiritual pursuits. They were very pleased to find the great mystery of the universe that existed within their souls and within their bodies. And in that way, they became some of the first vegans in the universe because they sought a more pure and humble way to approach life. And they then soon became the first victims of intelligent beings in the universe because their Lyran counterparts soon found that they were in the way, as they would. And the sorrowful dance of the victim and perpetrator first began between the Lyrans and the Vegans. And the Vegans and the Lyrans then, after many years of this conflict, sought to find harmony at a soul level by creating an entire new civilization. And this was made at a soul level choice. This was not made at an incarnate level. Souls simply began to move and reincarnate in different parts of the galaxy, transmuting the karma and moving this energy to another part of the galaxy known as the Orion system, where this conflict then escalated even greater. The clash between the polarity of the feminine and masculine became even greater. And your world as well became a sort of descendant of this prime conflict that emerged. And the manifestation of its solution occurs now as the feminine energy rises within you and upon your planet to balance the force of domination and the endless desire to expand unencumbered, to find more of the natural peacefulness inside your heart is the vegan mission. And the spiritual commitment to be an embodiment of that peace, to be an embodiment of a strong connection to source energy and source life, is the vegan proposal to bring great balance.
Thank you.
We do thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
What is my purpose in life?
To experience joy and bliss and harmony.
How do I reach it?
By doing what it is that you love the very most in each moment, to the best of your ability, with no insistence on what needs to happen. By committing yourself to be in alignment with that love and joy. And you find that alignment by discovering the things that you love the very most. So, as we just say, to experience love, joy, and harmony is your, main soul mission. That is the mission of every soul. And you, from your creative stance as an individual, must figure out for yourself which specific and unique things bring you as a specific and unique emanation of that source light to experience your unique expression of love, bliss, and joy. So then we'll ask you a question. What do you love the very most?
Searching for it.
You love searching for it. Or you are searching for it.
I am searching for it.
Do you love the search?
I would rather love to find it.
All right. Can you imagine what it would be like to find it? How would it feel to find it? How would it feel to not have to look anywhere?
Back home?
Yes. And so are you at home now? Are you at home with us? With those around you?
I like that thought.
Yes. You are at home. You simply must become aware of it.
Yes.
So, when you say you want to look for something, or that you are searching for something, you affirm to your consciousness that that's what is occurring. And when you realize that all that you are ever creating or becoming is more of what you already are, you must realize, to some degree, that you already have the thing that you're looking for. And you're only seeking to make it bigger or different. If you are experiencing something you don't prefer, then you are given the gift of being informed of what you do prefer. And then you can, from that place, find the ways that you already have some level of the things that you would prefer, and bring your focus to that. When you can recognize that, to a large degree, many of the things that you want to create are already part of your present reality, you may find the way that you can, from that point, expand that, make them bigger, make them more of your predominant focus. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is there something more you would like to ask, or something that could make this a bit more applicable to your life?
No, thank you.
All right, we do thank you, and we share with you great love. Yes.
Are you some of the Pleiadians here with us on Earth? Like
Yes, we're here.
Nation?
Yes.
Yeah. Like many of you, or
Many of us?
yeah, or just few of you? Or?
Are you asking if we are in human bodies?
Yeah, if you embody it.
No.
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 Oh. In which way? No.
We are here at higher energetic levels, at what you would call the astral level, or the quasi-physical level. So, we do have ships that are stationed around your planet, as many different extraterrestrial life forms do. We are preparing for open contact. We are meeting many of you in your dream state, and as we are telepathically linked with many of you, channeling our frequency to many humans and teaching through them, or teaching them how to do certain things, we are, in that sense, energetically engaged and involved with your world. Though at times in the past we have physically been here in our ships, in the times you know to be Lemuria and Atlantis, and your Egypt or Kemet, we were here. And at other times we met more of what you would describe as indigenous cultures, and planted within their consciousness the seeds of what was to come, and helped them get a sense of their purpose. We met them in that way. And we have been here at earlier times that we cannot really describe to you at this moment, and have met your world in that way as well. And so now your Earth goes through these cycles in which it inhabits a certain dimensional bandwidth, and then it goes to a higher dimensional bandwidth, and then it goes back down. And your Earth is about to go back up. And so while we were at once at a point that we couldn't really come and meet you in the same way, simply telepathically, with your spiritual energies in that way, we can now meet you with your spiritual energies. And because your physical energies are going up to a higher dimension entirely, you will again be able to meet us in that way, seeing us right before your eyes in the times to come.
It's like our higher self, like in the fifth dimension.
Your higher self is all of the dimensions.
In all dimensions, okay.
Your higher self is the entire being of who you are. And it reaches from the highest dimension to the lowest dimension. You can experience it within all of them. And it is the way that you experience the state of great oneness, all that is.
Just have one last question.
Yes.
It's like in the fifth dimension, like the other way around is here.
In the
As
fifth...
this dimension. I don't know if you understand my question.
We don't. Can you say it in a different way?
I have the feeling from what I learned and that the fifth dimension is just the opposite of this dimension.
It's not the opposite. It's simply a higher vibrational frequency. And in the fifth dimension, it is best described as a sort of state of great positive energy, because it is again in this dimension in which you go beyond the limitation of a dense, contrasting physical reality. You become quasi-physical. And so the world around you still appears as just as real, but it is more malleable, it is more permeable, it is more able to change, because you are in that fifth dimensional space more in touch with the true nature of reality, that is, time and space are illusionary. And so in that fifth dimensional state, you are more aware of things that could be occurring or have occurred in other dimensions and other realities. So again, when you access the space of your imagination, you are getting much closer to this fifth dimension, because you are experiencing at an energetic level the aliveness of the past and the future and alternate timelines as energetic potential within you that awaken certain codes, certain firings of energy within you. So this fifth dimension is best experienced as this moving beyond time entirely, moving beyond the limitations imposed by your experience of a physical reality bound into linear time. You experience the fifth dimension and become more fifth dimensional when you realize more fully that the linear concept of time is not really how it works.
Thank you.
We do thank you, yes.
I have a question as well.
Yes.
I wrote a manifest in the 17th century. Does it still exist?
Yes.
Can you give me some clues where I can find it?
Well, you must understand that it wasn't you that wrote it. It was
No.
another aspect of your soul.
Yeah, I know that.
And we can't give you those clues, sorry.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
When this shift of vibration happens, what is going to happen on the physical level?
It's already happening.
When an actual switch is going to happen?
Well, you must understand that it isn't a sudden thing, it is a gradual thing. And because you have aligned with a timeline in which it fully happens, it has already happened. So the shift has happened from that higher perspective. And so what occurs is that your consciousness stops being limited and bound to physical reality, and you again gain access to other dimensions and levels of time. The future and the past become more accessible, and your body becomes more permeable, more malleable. You experience a vast array of synchronicity in which the things that you think about come to you more instantaneously, and you are able to understand the hidden clues, the hidden messages in everything that occurs. You understand precisely why and how things come to you, and from that place you are more masterful in choosing exactly what it is you would like to experience. And that growing experience that is in alignment with that sort of synchronicity is the greatest indicator of your alignment with that shift in consciousness. Now, on a planetary level, as this occurs, what will happen is that there will be a landing of beings like ourselves that begin to meet with you and begin to share ideas with you, that begin to help you again raise your frequency even further, and the growing pockets of concentrated contact will then help the human vibration raise significantly enough that those of you in alignment with the light, choosing fully the light, will be able to share with those still in a more dense state the true manifestation, the true proof of life beyond your planet, and the great and wondrous abilities and technologies they have shared with you. You will be able to unify your planet and bring about a world alliance that then allows you to be a part of the intergalactic alliance, and then brings you great access to the array of information and knowledge available in the entire galaxy in this way.
So, is this going to happen on a physical level?
Yes. Though again, realize that as it occurs, you move from physical to quasi-physical. So we can describe quasi-physical reality best like this. It is somewhere in between what you experience now and what you experience in a dream. In a dream, everything simply flows to you and comes to you, yet when you step into more of a lucid state, you gain control over it. And in a quasi-physical state, it is much like this. You are more capable of experiencing directly the understanding of why and how things come to you, because you become more self-aware and you become more in alignment with these natural laws of the universe. You are also then, through technological manipulation, able to shift time-space to move much more rapidly through time and space. And so once you become quasi-physical, you have the ability to shift through parallel reality manifestations of Earth, and then move to other planets or move through your own planet at a much quicker rate. Though we must first say, is that all you would like to ask of us? Great friend we've been speaking with now?
For now, I guess.
All right, then we do thank you. It has been a great pleasure to meet you in this way. We thank you for your very intriguing questions, as they have brought much illumination to all. And now, next, yes, your question too.
It's just a short question.
All right.
Or maybe two.
All right.
Is there something you want to learn from us?
We are learning from you great and wondrous understandings. We are very intrigued by the process through which species ascend, and as, in a sense, teachers and mentors for the ascension of many evolving, enlightening civilizations throughout the galaxy, from every time we assist in this way, we gain greater insight into how this process works for the different unique species that do exist. So it is part of an ongoing experiment that your Earth will as well be a part of one day. When you have become an enlightened planet, you will, with us and with many, begin to be teachers for the other enlightening, ascending planets. And you will gain knowledge from that as well. As all teachers in your world understand that the teacher learns more than the student, but that doesn't make the teacher in a different role. So we learn more from you than you learn from us. We'll say it like that. That's why we have to thank you so much, so profoundly, every time.
I have a question.
Yes.
What about this destructive force of starseeds or indigos or whatever? Like
The what force?
destructive force.
Well, it simply comes from feeling like this earth is not the home you remember. And so you rebel against the negativity here, because as a starseed you remember a world of more of a balanced, harmonious state, and that remembrance is stored within your very energetic structure. And when you see that what is you're experiencing is not what is that enlightened planet that you remember, it becomes very frustrating. And this is again why you must learn the power of your focus, to use your imagination when you are not seeing something that you like very much. Instead, focus into your imagination into what the opposite experience would be like and place emotional emphasis on that. So there are certain things that you will never like about your planet, but you must come to accept them as part of the contrast that Source offers. Source gives third-dimensional realities the opportunity to learn through the contrast of pleasure and pain, love and fear, the great, wonderful ways that beings can focus and orient themselves. And so by trusting that even the most negative aspects of your planet are manifestations of Source's love, you can release your definitions about them and stop focusing on them. Because again, a negative definition is a strong focus, and a strong focus generates more. And when you have a certain very strong negative definition about the bad things on your planet, you attract more of those bad things into your personal reality.
Yeah.
It is safe for you to direct your focus away from the things you don't like, and they will stop being an experience for you.
And what about in revolution? Like, is it not for us? We are just shifting.
You've done that already.
Yeah.
You've had this revolution, that revolution. And the truth of this matter now is it is simply evolution. And again, it is occurring in small, isolated pockets at first. It is happening through gatherings like this and many even bigger gatherings around your world, encoding people with the light frequencies that they will then carry and share and connect in a different way, in a different format, from a different individual and specific purpose. And those gatherings will change your genetic structure, make you more accessible to the cosmic frequencies. And as you continue to share in this way, you will again receive more codes, more information, and the positive force will overcome the negative. But you cannot fight against the negative. You can only offer an alternative perspective.
But a part of me wants to take part in this destroying of the system. You know, so.
We understand that, but in destroying the system, you make the system stronger.
And this is the system. Yeah.
So part of this patterning, again, for starseeds especially, comes from the remembrance of a time and space called the Orion Wars, a period of time lasting 10,000 years, in which the negativity experienced was 5 times worse than the negativity experienced on your planet. This degree of constricting energy is so powerful that it requires a great degree of karmic spillover in order to accurately transmute. And so certain patterns of control, manipulation, and subversion, and brainwashing and mind control bleed through into your reality. And as it does, as well, the resistance movement's tactics are awakened in many of you who feel very affected by this karma. So this sort of resistance movement was known as the Black League, and the Black League used the same tactics of manipulation, subversion, mind control, and so on and so forth to fight against the negative overlords of the Orion system. And in doing so, They made their attackers stronger. They fed energy to their attackers. They made their oppressors gain more information, more technology, more ways to continue to attack, manipulate, and control them. They actually made those overlords much more powerful every time they fought against them. And the Black League had to soon understand that it was the opposite. It was the light. It was the pure white light. That was actually the remedy. And when they fully gave in, when they fully surrendered, when they were fully able to, in your world, as you've learned, turn the other cheek in that way, their lightness confused the negative energy overlords so much that they gave up.
But we have passion inside, and this is for good reason.
Yes, though you can use your passion in the direction of what is positive and what is joyful, and you will have much more power.
It's
Then,
positive to get to free yourself and to free the world,
well, again, you can only free yourself. And by freeing yourself, you provide a resonant match. You provide an example of what it means to be empowered, joyful, and living your truth. And others can choose to match that vibratory frequency in their own unique way. And this is how you save the world. You cannot save the world by helping people, because every time you say to another person, you have a problem and I'm going to help you get rid of it, you reaffirm to that person that they are wounded, victimized, and not fully in control. So every time that you try to save your world, you actually make the problems bigger. You have to love yourself. This is the only way to make a difference in your reality. We thank you for playing with us in this way. It is a very fun way for us to learn.
I have a question too.
Yes.
One time I was at an artist's house, and suddenly there was this quite big blue light.
Yes, that was us.
Yes, it was.
Yes. How was it to see us in the sky?
It wasn't in the sky, it was in his room.
Yes.
But he had a connection to the Pleiades. Yes, because he drew it in his pictures, the constellation.
Yes. Yes, that was us playing with you a little bit. So remember that, because we can come back in that same way at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
You simply just have to focus your consciousness in that direction and be in that same supportive and loving environment.
Mm-hmm. A certain hue of blue.
Yes, that is a great color for us.
Mm-hmm.
That is our clearest representation.
Mm-hmm.
And again, many of the stars in our world are blue.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yes, we do thank you. Come to meet us more.
Yes, gladly.
All right, we have the allocation for one more question.
I would like to ask how to, because for me there is much confusion always about, because you speak about the things that you really like or makes you feel good or happy.
Yes.
From your heart.
All right.
Sometimes I can feel that, but sometimes I am confused.
All right.
And I don't know if this is really coming from that place or from another place. Like it's like a confrontation between what I am supposed to do or I should do, and what really makes me feel good.
Yes.
Sometimes, and I feel this conflict very strongly, and sometimes that makes me lose clarity. And there is something like if I would do what I like or something like that, it's like I have the feeling like maybe this is going too far or too much or risking too much or what will happen or things like that.
When did you learn to fear the things that you loved?
When I learn.
Yes, when did you learn that? When were you taught to, instead of being free, to worry about what could happen if you don't do the most practical thing. Quite young? Or later in life? Don't try too hard.
If I don't try too hard and I have a feeling like later,
All right.
is it like that? I don't know.
I think it was your grandmother.
Well, yes, it was all of your relatives as well.
Mm.
And
In this life, you mean?
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, it's in the very hereditary line to have this great fear, though you are here to transform it.
Mm.
And
How old I was in that moment?
throughout your life, you learned it, but it was, again, as every year of your life, you relive the patterning of your relatives, your grandparents and your parents at that same year. So they gave you a bit of time to be the younger child who was free, and then at the moment that it was seen that you were an adult and had to be more accountable, that fear began to kick in more. So it is the willingness to accept your freedom that we ask of you. To know that your source does not define for you whether or not a certain experience is good or bad. Only you do. You have the ability to make positive anything that is negative. And you can, if you look for it, find enough proof to trust that even if one of the very worst things could happen, if you didn't do what you thought was so important for your well-being and instead did what your heart was really asking you to do in the moment. If the very worst thing would happen, someone or something or somehow you would be helped, you would be supported. And there would in that be the benefit of the reflection, the manifestation, the symbolic gift of the knowing that you are supported and loved. And that could be used in a positive way. You can detach yourself more completely from the idea, from the projection into your future of so-called failure. Because, again, in knowing that that so-called failure that might occur if you do the thing that you actually want to do, that so-called failure that you may experience is actually a good thing, is actually a positive experience, is actually something that through contrast will lead you to a clearer and more enjoyable manifestation of your true desire. You can, again, dissolve that fear of failure for yourself and for also all of your ancestors.
There is the strong fear of suffering.
Though, haven't some of the best beings in your world suffered greatly?
Sorry?
Haven't some of the best beings in your world suffered greatly?
I don't understand the question.
Have not some of the greatest, most enlightened, most powerful beings on your planet suffered? For example,
Yeah. Really.
yes. And has that suffering not brought about great positive change? You must, again, have a different idea of what it means to be in pain. Because as you allow yourself to, again, detach from physical circumstances when you experience pain, bring yourself to focus on a more etheric, more high vibration level of reality, you gain the ability to go beyond your physical reality. Suffering can take you beyond your human plight. It can show you that while you have a human body, you are much more than human. And in this way, suffering is also a good thing. The things that you fear, other than your death, and even your death, for example, though you must have a degree of caution of the things that would kill you before you're ready. But death itself, yes, release the fear of that too. Simply be cautious enough to avoid it, to postpone it, knowing that you're here for good reasons. And release all of the fears of these other things that could happen, because ultimately all of them can be used in a positive way. There's nothing that couldn't. And in being fearless towards the negative so-called futures, as we have guided you today to your most paranoid and dystopian future, you can take peace with it. You can say, that is an aspect of my soul, and I accept it. When you can say that, then you can most truly and most fully focus yourself in the direction of what you would really prefer to experience, of what would bring you the greatest joy, and act upon it.
You mean, although I might feel fear or doubt or whatever, anyway, I do what I feel more from my heart.
Yes.
Taking the risk.
Yes,
there is
taking the
fear or
risk.
whatever.
And trusting that failure is a good thing. Trusting that pain can be a good thing. Trusting that all of the things that you do fear are possible things that you may not prefer, but can be used in a positive way.
And how to feel more, to make more difference when it's coming from my heart, or when it's coming from a certain kind of idea of what it should be.
When you feel your heart beating quicker and you feel that warmth of your heart spreading through you, you are in a clear way to receive the knowledge that it is your heart's true passion and not something of your ego. When you are feeling your head bursting, or when you are feeling your belly churning, this is a clearer idea that it is coming from a more, what you call, egoic place. When you are in alignment, in the most proper focus, you will feel some expansion, some orientation towards the center of your being. It literally means you are centered. You are centered in your heart. That is the indicator of when you are really in alignment.
And it has to do with excitement and something like wider
Love.
Wider.
Yes. Excitement is a very measurable, is a very palpable form of love. It is a very easy to use in action form of love, and that is why the formula is to act on your highest excitement, because excitement is the most actable thing, and action is one of the three most important things, as we have said to you.
I would like to know, when I was 24, 25, and I was in my city in Spain, and I was doing these workshops as a teacher and taking the flower bath.
Yes.
I had for a period, I was feeling happy always and very connected. What happened there?
You are in a natural state of alignment with your higher self. You stopped focusing on what you feared because you felt your spiritual essence. How did that feel in your body?
But why did it happen?
Stop asking why. How did it feel?
How did it feel?
Yes.
Wonderful.
And how did it feel inside your body? Do you have a lot of energy?
Yes, a lot. And I could organize my time and do many things that I like.
And you did the things that you enjoyed.
Yes.
So instead of figuring out why, because why is as simple as you did the things that you loved and you trusted that you were able to. You kept following that love. And as you remember that feeling of great freedom, great joy, great energy, and you bring that back to your life by doing the things that you love, you can bring yourself back into that state. Though it is helpful to again remember the experiences of love as much as you can. Remember what brought you into that state of love, and instead of trying to avoid fear, and certainly not by trying to recreate the exact same experience again, simply remember that emotion, remember that sensation, remember that choice to be free in your action, and allow it to flow through you in that way. Allow your action to be focused in the direction of your greatest love. And yes, actually the greatest and most loving thing to do for many of you is to nurture yourself, to nurture your mind by allowing yourself to release this patterning and finding the many different tools that help you to release patterning. And of course, that isn't the only exciting thing, because as you release that patterning, you will awaken your natural creativity. But part of your passion, part of your joy is that pursuit of the process of release. Because as you release the beliefs that don't excite you, that keep you limited, that keep you acting from fear, you will find greater clarity. You will find it more natural to simply be in that high vibrational state of following your joy and your passion.
And I would like to ask also, what are the main fields for me to develop activities and projects and things?
The main fields?
Yeah.
Which ones excite you the most?
Well, I mean, since always art and spirituality and yeah.
Then you have your answer.
Okay, the things that in the past I had naturally this strong feeling about doing things, and I enjoyed a lot with passion.
Yes.
One day I lost that.
What happened on that day?
I don't know.
What did you focus on?
Was,
What was the thought that came?
Something like disconnected from my center, and I guess something like not feeling the value or something like that.
Not feeling your own value?
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't deserve to feel that good?
Yeah, something like this. Like if I had a bad image about myself or something like that.
Because it was very naughty to feel so good. It's very bad. You had to instead feel the way that everyone else felt.
Everyone.
Yes. You didn't deserve more than the others. You would rob the world of their good feeling if you took it all for yourself. Something like this.
That was.
How would that even be possible? Because we say, the more that you feel good, the more you bring others to feel good. Your emotional energy is a resonance field, and when you feel good things, those around you are offered the opportunity to focus on good things. And actually, when you are in a very positive state, yet surrounded by people who are very negatively focused, their negativity gets bigger, it gets louder. So many of you learn through this contrast of feeling very open, feeling very positive, getting very positive, getting very positive, and then encountering the strongest negative feedback from other people, because your great amount of positive energy triggers in them their relationship with their self, their hatred generated out of their own misplaced focus. And you experience that, you think it has something to do with you because you see clearly how what in you brought that out of them. And then you instead focus in the same way that they've focused. You come into resonance with their misplaced focus, and you become very negative in that sense. So you must remember that the way other people feel has nothing to do with you. You may elicit the deeper feelings in others by being a more clear channel for your own higher self. And the way that they feel and the way they respond is their programming, their belief system, their energetic structure. And when you come to see it that way, you will have the greater ability to, in a more clear way, offer them an example of how they can change their energetic structure in a healthy way. And if they don't choose it, it has nothing to do with you. If they don't choose it, that is their choice. And you can continue to choose to bring yourself into a positive state, knowing that that positive feeling is generating more positivity in the world. You are not robbing anyone of anything. And that positive frequency comes from a choice. It comes from being yourself and loving yourself. And while other people have in the past hurt others for their own well-being, that past now has nothing to do with you anymore. There are structures that exist on your planet that are the result of that sort of behavior, and your only responsibility is to act in a way that dissolves those structures and instead use positive energy to spread that love, spread that joy to many people around you, simply by being the natural way that you would prefer to be, doing the things that you're naturally drawn to with trust, that if you love it, it is Source, it is God acting through you. If you love what you are doing, that is a divine offering, that is the receiving of God's grace, as you may have learned it.
So are you saying that the people around me in that period in my life?
No, we are saying always, when you open your energy, when you raise your vibration, you will trigger in other people around you their core vibratory frequency. You will arise in others their core beliefs. And the negativity in negatively oriented people will get bigger and louder because you are a clearer manifestation of your own higher self, your own connection to Source. And when you are more clearly in contact with Source, you make everything around you more clear, more loud, more big, however way you want to put it.
But that was like the kind of being empathic with that people.
Well, what you did was that you believed the negativity they were experiencing to have something to do with you. So you started to be as negative as they were. And now that you know that their negativity is their thing and not yours, you can instead focus on what brings you love and the people that are clearly happy and joyful. And now that you know how to match frequencies with something, you can instead choose to match frequencies with the positive, loving beings around you, because there are many.
And all these things that I see since I was a child, what can I do with that? I mean, I guess...
Enjoy it. Ask it. Co-create with it. Find more information from it. Find deeper relevance in it.
Is it like beings from another dimension, also
Yes.
like you?
Yes. You are tuning into these other realities, and every time you see these things, it is someone on the other side attempting to reach out with you, attempting to make contact with you, and attempting to help you refine your own abilities in a greater way.
And I guess one of my things to do here has to be with that, with
Yes.
giving information to the people about all these things.
Yes.
Mm.
In that same way, you are a different sort of medium, a different sort of channel, one who opens others up to those other realms. And this will become clearer for you as you really allow yourself to release these heavy beliefs and to come into resonance with your natural joy by doing what you love the most. More of this contact will take place in very interesting ways. We'll put it that way. Now, we want you to bring particular attention to the element of water. So, when you use the shower, for example, have a clear intention of something that you wash, something that you clear, and invite in that presence in that moment. Invite in that higher divine presence and let yourself break from your present reality and go into a more contemplative state. Take time to bathe if you can, or when it rains, take time to acknowledge the water. When you drink the water, take time to think of the most positive action that you can take in that moment. Use the water as a way to purify yourself, to release and relinquish any of this old, negatively charged energy. This is the last bit of advice that we can share with you now, and we trust that as you apply these tools, many things will be very different for you. So, again, if you ever feel like you are missing the answers, trust that your own imagination, your own creativity will always point you in the very most perfect direction, and you'll feel it by a magnified increase in the energy around your heart in some way. And if you can't feel that, simply hold your heart until you do. That will be sufficient. We thank you all very, very much for allowing this transmission to occur at this moment of your time and in this way. We thank you for the opportunity you have offered us to meet you and to co-create with you. Now, as you take a moment to breathe in and exhale, take a moment to breathe in and exhale, closing your physical eyes and reorienting your physical eyes up to your third eye. Imagine that you are seeing through a veil into another world. And before you there is a familiar face. There is a beautiful reflection staring back to you. Whoever that face is, greet it and say hello. Know that as you keep your focus here to this clear third eye, to this perception with your imagination, there are many other beings that are always accessible. You may think you need some ceremony or some substance or some dance in order to get there. Yet what you are experiencing now is always available to you in each and every moment. And if you take your focus here to this place, to your third eye, and breathe and allow, and ask the reflection to manifest in your imagination, you will always have the answers. You are all very empowered creators, and we want you here today with us, to be the teachers of the others. Recognize that you are a very advanced group of souls, and take a moment to make good connection with each other before you leave this space. For each of you are transferring to one another a clear reflection of your own soul's mission, your own soul's purpose and yearnings. Allow this energy, allow this love to permeate you more. And do trust that the universe is here to support you, and you will see that reflection more. There is much love for you. Our love is total and unconditional. And do take the moment to connect with us. At other times, we are always with you. We never leave you. As we cease the transmission through the channel in this way, we are simply giving his body the space to come back. We are here with you still. And before you journey in your sleep tonight, you can ask our frequency to return to you. You can ask your third eye again to open for us to show you more. And we may meet you. We may take you on a journey in your dream time, or your other guides may do so. You are very open now, so use this time very wonderfully to practice the tools of your focus, action, and imagination. And there will be many good learnings to come. We thank you very much, and we have, again, appreciated our connection with you in this way.
Thank you so much.
Whew. What are you guys doing?